I would like to welcome you all to Finance and Energy Efficiency. I am Koray Göytan. I am the moderator of this panel, and I'd like to introduce our panelists. Akdeniz Derya Mahmut, Akli's branch, Başkent branch manager. From Türkiye İş Bankası SME Banking Marketing Division Head, Mr. Vedat Karahanoğlu. Welcome, Vedat Bey. From Garanti BBVA Sustainable Finance Manager. Welcome, İrem Hanım. I will make a short introduction and I'll give the floor to our speakers. So we are the climate change and green transformation has become a phenomenon that we observe. Of course, in order to decrease carbon emissions, when we look at the energy consumption, we see that 30% of the energy is used in the buildings, except for there are 9 million building stock in our country, and of course the new buildings, as we accept that they are in green legislation, in line with legislation. Finance is an important part of this. EBRD developed a finance program, TURSEF, Turkey Sustainable Energy Program in industrial and commercial buildings. We object that the buildings since 2017, our scope has been expanded, and the local authorities have been involved as well. 2 billion finance has been used, and 350 million of this is used for the buildings investments. What TURSEF is a large scope technical support program. We are working with our stakeholders. We are trying to increase the capacity building and raise awareness, and the finance of these investments should be targeted at long lasting, and we support the green finance. You know, the green transformation is in the medium term program, and in terms of transformation and Green Deal, what are the challenges that you are facing, and what could be the improvements to be made in this regard? I'd like to give the floor to Diana first. Hi, everyone. Within this scope, of course, it is inevitable that we will be complying this in the Ministry of Commerce, in the Green Deal action plan. There have been some obligations for the sector, the industry, which is affected as a sector, and they have to make some improvements in this regard within this scope. Textile sector, likewise, we are working. As they are working with the EU market, they have to adapt themselves in a very short while. Of course, in terms of if they didn't make the investments, their cost will increase. So there have been some investments in the sector. How are we affected this in the energy efficiency? As at least 15% of our portfolio is paid for the energy projects, and 100% of this is financed with the green loan. And in addition to this, we revise our environmental policies for the power plants using coal. We do not finance these projects as of 2021. In terms of investors, the resources that we provide is, as the export is largely for European Union, we can see that the investments have been increasing, and the finance institutions, there is the competitiveness of the price, and this is something good for the investors, and so they have access to resource, and there are flexible payment conditions, as we are supporting the financiers, and in order for them to have easy investments, so there have been some tax incentives, and we believe that they should be supported with the tax incentives from the government. And as we are one-on-one involved in the investors, and we believe that the investors should be supported. This is all I can say right now. But that way, let's hear your opinions on this. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I'd like to salute the speakers and the audience. I'd like to salute you on my behalf and on behalf of my bank. And I'd like to thank the organizational committee for their very kind invitation. So I can say that the European Union, the Green Deal, cannot be seen as a climate policy only. It is an economic transformation program as they designed. This is what we observe. And the European Union Green Deal decreases the climate risks, minimizes the climate risks, and it is objected at the independence of the economy. So starting with European Union, the Green Deal is in line with the transformation programs, encouraging the green investment, and also it is a roadmap for supporting this. As İş Bankası, we are working in order to minimize the environmental effects, and with the responsible banking, we are trying to support the green economy through the loans of our bank. We are objecting at using this in a more effective manner. So with an identity, responsible identity as a bank, the suppliers, the investors, all the employees. So we support everyone, and we continuously work and put our efforts in this as a bank. So we support the limited carbon economy, and we analyze the risks and opportunities, and we increase the number of services and products which support green investment. And institutionally speaking, all the risks because of the climate change are taken into account in all our activities. So with the qualitative perspective, we give priority to this, and the climate change risk exposed by our bank is because of the activities of our investors. And in order to scale the risk, the commercial credit portfolio is analyzed, and we drive conclusions for that. So the loan portfolio, in order to achieve this, we actually go through a two-stage approach. First and foremost, while the evaluation of the risks, in order to define the sectors, so we use our heat map so that we can see which sectors are to what extent are exposed to risks. And in continuation of this, so we make the scenario analysis, and as a heat map, if the sectors is high and medium high, we make the impact analysis, and within the scenario analysis we have an approach, and it is climate change. It is in line with the climate change methodology of United Nations, and with the carbon taxation and carbon commerce activities and their effects are taken into account and scaled in the scenario activities. We use this in our activities. So with this method, so the one of the for credit clients, in addition to financial data, we have them in the stress test, and we see the differences, and we look at the analysis. We make the analysis on the balance sheet of the bank. And since 2002, climate change project, regarding the changes until the end of 2022, we defined our actions, and the finance and the products facilities are enriched, and also we have actions for increasing the sustainable finance, and of course the roadmaps have been defined, and we also conduct our activities accordingly. And also regarding the scaling of the climate risks, and the risks department is working in our bank. In addition to that, the investment co-investment is, if it is more than 10 million euro USD, they are also evaluated separately. There is the risk assessment of social and environmental risks, and the risk is then defined, and if the risk is high as a result of the risk, there's a limiting of the climate or disposal of this. We cooperate with our clients, and social and environmental action is prepared. And if needed, the experts and external experts also follow the projects up. As you know, in Turkey, the energy efficiency funds and the investments are the triggers of the investments. And for green economy, we cooperate with international finance organizations, and for SMEs, we support the renewable energy and projects, and with the funds from international organizations, we finance them. So since 2008, as IşBank, for the finance of, we are cooperating with KfW, EBRD, Profarco. We also we work with the international organizations for special purposes, and with the resources that we supply, renewable energy and energy efficiency projects. And in addition to this, the SMEs, the agricultural enterprises, and the enterprises with the priority of development, we finance them as well. And as a privilege, the credit and a loan with the funds for the investors and local enterprises, if they don't want to bear the risk, we give long-term funds, and with the credits, the direct investors, we provide technical support to investors directly. And regarding the energy efficiency, we are also contributing to the sectoral know-how. And at this point, we believe we are responsible in this regard. This is how I can add my words. So thank you, Vedat Bey. İrem Hanım, now we will hear your opinions. Koray Bey, hi everyone. Thank you very much for your question. The other panelists shared very good information, and today I'll talk about what are the challenges in the energy sector and which improvements should be made in this regard. This is where I will focus on. As you know, sustainability is on the agenda of the governments on the upfront. There are programs and action plans have been published in this regard. The reason is that the climate crisis actually affects the business world very deeply. And in August, there was an important report, the Intergovernmental Climate Change sector report is like a red flag, a red alarm for the humanity. I'd like to give you some information from that. And in all the scenarios, the universe the world will increase by 1.5 Celsius degrees, and In the best scenario, if it is in 2030, we see that 1.5 degrees will be overcome, will be even more, and you know, accessing this limit is that there will be some unforeseeable risks to emerge, and there are other data in the report. Carbon dioxide concentration for the 2 million years is its peak, and last year was the year of was the hottest year of in the last 125, and in the northern pole it is the lowest for the last 100 years. So there are ecological droughts will increase and the precipitation decrease. And of course, this has huge effects on the business world. And in July, Green Deal action plan is published. There are 32 objectives and 81 actions. And the investors actually re-evaluate their modus operandi. And for the first time, as you asked in the question, in the medium term, there is the climate change is observed, and also the transition to green economy will be triggered, as it is highlighted. Of course, all the developments are very important. The stakeholders, we as the banks are the largest stakeholders. 2/3 of the finance is distributed by the banks. Of course, we have a lot to do in this regard as responsibility. By 2030, according to United Nations, in the developing and underdeveloped countries, there is the investment of $3.9 billion. And in order to fill the gap, we have to do a lot. As Garanti BBVA, we are aware of this responsibility. And in 2020, this is our strategic priority, even if it is our way of working. While we give finance, while being channeled to this projects, there are some challenges and that should be improved. And once again, I'd like to highlight that the banks giving commitments, as the previous speaker pointed out, it's about creating financial alternatives and also implementing new policies. If we are to talk about some challenges, for example, the energy efficiency in buildings, we have some problems while providing finance. For example, access to data is one of the challenges. And if we are to talk about green mortgage, if an individual uses the green mortgage, we need to energy identification document of the buildings. This system is effectively implemented in some countries. For example, in Netherlands, if you are to rent or buy a building, the energy, you can have access to energy efficiency identification document, identity document. However, in Turkey, it is not easy for an individual to have access to this data. So we are having this credits and mortgage we communicate with the project owners and we are trying to get information from them statistically. So we can say that the 95% the mortgage credit is given to the completed projects, 5% is given to the new projects. So the green mortgage credit is used in a very small pool, and so energy identity document, and in terms of energy efficiency in buildings, so we believe that awareness raising and the society is very important. Another issue is that in Turkey there is a lack of taxonomy. So what does that mean? So we don't know what to call as green mortgage. When we say green mortgage loan, it's a standardized system because there is an energy labeling system and there are the international certificates like BMI and LEED certificates, and we look at this as references, and if the project has these, We can call them as a green. However, when we talk about energy efficiency, the situation gets a bit complex because according to European Union efficiency criteria, a medium building can be named as green mortgage. So we believe that taxonomy will prove as an important document. A European Union published the Green Deal statistics, and this could be used as a reference document. What kind of documentation should be there, and the banks which what they should have is written in this document, and in struggle against the projects. So this actually certifies this, and it is below the greenwashing concept. And in the investors side, there could be some reservations, and the investors they want to clear off their suspicions and will increase their investments. So as guarantee BBVA, we prepared a taxonomy document as a BBVA also. It is harmonized with the European BBVA documents, and we prepared a taxonomy document, and we take this as a reference in our investments so that it is easier for us and better for us to choose the green buildings. And there will be another challenge to be exposed because we have a target. The performance credits we have to confirm it with the clients, and it is complex. So we need to look at whether there is 20% of energy efficiency, and taking the certificates from the clients as provides us another burden as a work because in certain credit amounts or systems are automatized and very fastly proceed. So, of course, getting the right information from the investors actually is a workload, extra workload for both of us and for the investors. So there needs to be an audit system, and the banks should go through these audit systems. This is very important, I believe, because while we are making the audit, in case of assigning a consultant, we just swept away this advantage. Actually, it's about at the stage of losing this advantage. And last but not the least, there are some barriers on the side of investors. In line with the European Green Deal and European taxonomy, European Union announced a very important target. They said that 2050, by 2050, being carbon neutral. It's a very assertive effect. And of course, these will be, Turkey will be affected by this. It's quite obvious that from design to production, all the producers and services should be shaped according to sustainable business models. And it is not like the companies do that voluntarily. And with the carbon emissions, it can be designed in such a way because, of course, the companies with better pricing will have an advantage. And of course, the carbon regulation is very important. So, of course, there is 1 ton carbon is for 60 euros, and so in Turkey, there will be an additional burden of 770 million on the investors, and the banks' roles are very important and critical in this regard. And of course, we believe that this is quite important to be there, and all the incentives and also the advantages will be reflected in the pricing. So within this scope, we will encourage the investors, and with the different incentives for the investors, the investments will have a way to be opened. And with these two is achieved, we believe that there will be more and more of these investments. Thank you very much. I'd like to end my words here. Thank you, İrem Hanım. We are talking about actually similar themes as the challenges, and one of the challenges that we face is that the perception of energy efficiency is far beyond the energy efficiency, the renewable energy. The investors' perception is more relaxed when it comes to energy efficiency. The savings may not be certain. There could be very optimistic scenarios and they cannot be realized. So the baseline should be prepared in the right manner possible. Regarding the investors, these are the challenges that we generally face. Of course, energy efficiency investments and their standardization is important. As a TurkeySakarya, we have a technology selection tool, and according to up to 250,000 euro, there are certain criteria, and the equipment is set for this amount of money, and this is without any consultant cost. They can have access to these tools, and of course, this is for the equipment which has been standardized, and for that, of course, the energy efficiency cost should be calculated. I'd like to continue with the second question. We all discussed one thing, there is a potential of energy efficiency in the buildings, but because of the barriers that we face, the investments are not in the level as wished. Of course, the finance institutions have very huge activities for realizing this potential. But of course, we are aware of this. And for the financial, could you please talk about financial solutions that you develop for this regard? Thank you.
As a result of high consumption, we see actually a excessive amount, but on our side, if we are to make self-criticism, we need to look for project financing, but we still do sponsor weight credit assessment. Maybe we should work with a more focus on project financing. As ACVIS in 2021, we launched EcoLease, which is a first in the industry, and we had very positive feedback from our consumers and creditors, and 15% of our volume concentrated on energy, and 10% of the loans were used within this scope, and 60% of all the loans in 2025, and 100% of all the loans in 2030 are planned to be green loan. We reached a significant size in a few months. EcoLease provides appropriate and long-term financing. And EcoLease is our new product for renewable energy and energy efficiency efforts. Thank you very much, Ms. Derya, Mr. Vedat. Thank you very much. I'll try to keep as short as possible. Here, I would like to refer to our financial efforts and products. As of 2011, energy ID document and are followed by follow-up criteria between A and E, and here they are referred to as green buildings, and also buildings with a LEED certificate are categorized as green building. In order to ensure energy efficiency, we encourage the properties to be of green nature, and we make certain discrepancy in terms of use And with our environment loan product, we made use of 800 million Turkish lira. And also we provided 150 million financing, Turkish lira financing for environmental business places. Are these figures high? Well, they definitely need to be improved, but they are not also, we cannot also underestimate them. And we gave loans of 40 million Turkish lira for urban transformation efforts, eco-friendly and low-cost electricity and hybrid vehicles, and their preferences are also supported. And environmental vehicle loan is provided for brand new vehicles. I can comfortably say that we provide appealing solutions there. Throughout 2020, the size of the loans exceeded well 50 million Turkish liras. Other products and services contributing to green energy can also be elaborated on, but let me refer to only a few non-licensed electricity generation products. Installations of 5 megawatts, including solar, wind, and other renewable energy investments, benefit from our investments. Energy efficiency loan is another product. Here we focus on energy, water, and raw material products, and finance resource efficiency. The solar energy is another financing product. Here, roof and facade type non-licensed gas structures benefit from it. Here, we give loans with a maturity rate of 10 years without any payback for 1 year, and we provide it in euro, Turkish lira, and dollar terms. And here the customers are able to pay it back in installation payments. Also in exchange loans, for example, TurkeySakarya is another project. We also provided these products. Renewable energy projects now account for 69% of all the energy portfolio financing of our all renewable energy finances, and it has a 7% share among all energy, processes. And here, 25 million megawatts is the target of our bank for 2023. Within the same year, financed renewable energy projects will reach 1,950 megawatts. For the past 3 years, our bank provided financing to renewable energy projects, which generated 69 million megawatts. As part of these projects, the total installed capacity of renewable energy projects is 9,170 megawatts. In addition to all these, our bank also provides green social commitment approach, and the funds to be generated from these issuances will be used in organic structure, clean transport, green buildings, circular economy, and renewable energy. And in addition to the positive projects, we are going to enable SMEs and female entrepreneurs in less developed regions, and they are going to be used for these purposes. In this context, on August 21, 2019, our bank issued the first green euro bonding, the first transaction in that sense in the industry, $50 million with a maturity rate of 10 years. Green bond represents sustainability approach of İş Bank, as well as providing long-term maturities. Our bank pays attention to reflect the social aspect in these loans, providing a unique value proposition and also contribute to products and services that are reservation focused. I'd like to refer to a few products. The first one is first in the industry, maximum theme card. What do we do with maximum theme card or theme card? We look at all the transactions of our customers and gives a percentage of the shopping to the theme foundation. Forest support is one of the most important practices for us. So our customers will be able to gain carbon points with their shopping activities. And when that reaches a certain level, we're going to ensure that theme foundation plants seedlings within the project Forest for the Future. We predict that we will plant 1 million trees for the next 3 years. Also, our environment-friendly investors will benefit from these funds. The amount to the foundation, theme foundation, ensured the implementation of mini theme projects in 2020, reaching 160,000 students in over 300 schools. Another product is Let's Protect the Seas loan. We here want to prevent and decrease sea contamination and support the preservation of our seas, waste treatment facility construction, or wastewater recovery facilities actually can be financed at conducive prices in the mid and long-term resources. As you stated in your question, we can refer to a self-criticism of other consumption and generation functions, and the amount of resource actually is at a humble level. But on the other hand, energy efficiency investments support supply, sales, and collection units, as they do not pose any risks compared to other investments and lead to new investment opportunities for the investors with a high return on investment. Another question about certain recommendations to investors. We have 3.2 million SMEs are operational in our country, and there are many companies that obtained great accomplishments that make us proud. Technical know-how, human resources, and digitalization are not at the desired point, and that influences the performances of our SMEs. These shortcomings also negatively impact focusing on energy efficiency or have the possibility to do so. That's why, as İş Bank, we try to create awareness with our digital Anatoly approach, and we are trying to support their digitalization. Of course, the requirements, needs of SMEs might change very quickly. They are more influenced more with industry-specific fluctuations. In addition to their capabilities, they have significant fragilities. That's why here the short-term requirements might be taken into condition while supporting the medium and long-term investments are actually deferred or postponed. Energy efficiency investments would actually enable our SMEs to have sustainable cash flows. So it will have a positive impact there. Energy efficiency investments and their impact on the balance sheet is extremely important. The savings by our SMEs may enable them to focus on investments that focus on their operation areas and improve their competitiveness. It is of course, comprehensive topic. There are many things to say, but in summary, we continue our efforts with green energy-focused loans. We're going to continue to diversify them, and zero energy investments will hopefully increase moving forward in our country. As I finish my speech, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. I will be more than happy to take the questions. And at the end, I would like to refer to a project that actually deals with the mucilage issue or mucilage issue. I hopefully recommend you to watch a newly arrived documentary there. Thank you very much, Mr. Vedat. Ms. İrem, the floor is yours now. Thank you very much again. Buildings present a huge energy efficiency potential. And as I stated in the previous section, barriers actually prevent the implementation of these projects, lack of incentive mechanisms, lack of data, and also expensive nature of technologies and first-time investments appear as the barriers. But in the fight against the climate change, we do not stand any chance of ignoring these aspects. According to the studies, energy use-related carbon dioxide emissions in buildings account for 40% of all the emissions, which is a serious figure to achieve the targets of the Paris Agreement. All the buildings need to be net carbon zero by 2050, but that number isn't even 1% as we speak now. And here, this emission target also shows that buildings need to make huge progress in terms of renewable energy and energy efficiency. Even in the UK, the buildings have medium to low energy efficiency statuses. That's why banks will play an important role. We are aware of this role, and this sustainability has become one of our strategic priorities. Let me tell you a little about our sustainability journey. Our journey started in early 2000s. It's great that this is a strategic priority now on two pillars. The first one is climate change. The second one is social inequalities / inclusive growth. Therefore, we have over 20 million consumers and 800 branches who actually try to spread this sustainability approach to every segment of the society, as well as our business divisions. We have products and policies developed for certain business divisions. For example, on the customer side, we started this journey a little earlier, and even we are trying to spread it at a grassroots level or at a bottom line level. Here we started our environmental and social policy in 2011. Together with that, environmental, social, occupational health, and safety aspects are also evaluated. In 2012, on the other hand, environmental social impact assessment model was implemented. This is an exhaustive and detailed model evaluating the impacts of the projects in terms of environmental and social aspects, and we decide on our loans according to that. And here we get action plans as part of this model, and we integrate these action plans to our credit loans. credit agreements if there's any lack of compatibility or failure to fulfill the standards. We can even call back the loan. Another important item is the protection of old forests. So if there's deforestation, then we get a commitment of planting 4 to 5 times more trees. We follow up on such commitments very closely. Until 2025, we have a commitment of 30 million trees. I can make this example concrete based on this understanding. It's 12 times the size of the Belgrade forest in Istanbul. So we work at full speed to transform our industry. And here we also included renewable energy in our financing options, including wind energy, solar energy. We run environmental and social assessments, taking into consideration ornithological aspects of the process as well. So we believe that these projects have an importance, and we actually are one of the institutions to act early by publishing our climate change action plan in 2015. We said that we're going to invest in renewable energy projects, that we will address the carbon issue, and that we will be against the deforestation of the lands. That's why actually we are one of the pioneering banks to finance these projects. $5.3 US and more than that number have been provided by our bank. And in the wind, we are a market leader at 24% share. I would like to underline that we are the market leader there. Also, with the climate change, we have certain ideas.
In next 10 years, we need to close down all these coal mines every day, and we announced that we will not finance these coal mines any longer. And we are working on this renewable energy sector, but any financing, we will stop this issue and we will leave this sector by 2040. Of course, it doesn't mean that we do not support any change or transformation in these sectors. Of course, we will continue to support our clients who are making efforts to change these conventional energy sectors. We are working a lot and to offer innovative change. And sometimes when know-how is not enough, we even sometimes act as a consultant rather than a bank only, and we try to find innovative solutions, and we work very hard on these issues, and these are important developments for us. The more products that we have in this category, the more clients and stakeholders will follow us and will join us in this respect. Of course, we have innovative practices at the institutional level because we are using its active financing. We are the first bank that gives loans for their individual houses and to have these rooftop issues. And it is a standardized loan now, and we provide it to our colleagues and our clients. And we want to change and transform our individual clients so that we can reduce the footprint of our individual clients. And we are working on a project to show all these details to them. And let me talk about the buildings and our buildings and also energy efficiencies. We have two products. We have this green one and the second one, building innovation loans. And these green mortgage loans has been active since 2017. We have new criteria. That means A or B class energy should be obtained, and we do our best to provide an appropriate and attractive loans to our clients, although it is up to 80, and we can increase up to 90% of this loan if it is class A, and it is up to 85% if it is class B for the energy. But we have, although we have this product since 2017, we have only 1,000 transactions, and it is 520 million Turkish lira total budget. And if these obstacles and barriers are removed, we can achieve our targets. For example, these insulations and also envelopes. And also we have some roof applications. Of course, solutions are limited in this respect because there is a problem of reaching consensus among the occupants so that they can act in a harmonious way. And we need a regulation so that we can play our role in, because there is a circular economy model which will be important for the buildings. Our deputy general manager is the president of this sustainable development, and we are quite active in this field. Most of the materials for the construction of buildings should be renewable, and it is important that we renew these materials. Thanks a lot for your patience. Thanks a lot, İrem Hanım. Now there are a few questions to you, to all panelists, of course. So it is open to all of you. Do you think that having not ratified the Paris Convention makes any impact on the credits, on the loans that you are offering? What is your opinion? Because it has been signed but has not been ratified by the Parliament. I don't think that it creates a negative impact on us, because we can work and we didn't face any challenge or any difficulties in this respect. We find any difficulties, but it will be, of course, helpful. I think from the investor's perspective, these policies that we have adopted make an impact on investors, and being part of this agreement or ratification of the agreement makes an impact, because ratification of the documents will give a clear instruction that it is not optional but compulsory, because foreign investors have activities, have dense activities in our country, and TurkeyRBS is one of them. Of course, these are not so visible, and so such panels are extremely important to promote such initiatives. The second issue is the energy performance document, which has been issued by the EU. There is a requirement to meet in these buildings. Do you think, is there any provision in the Green Deal? That's the question. If you want, I can answer the question. Yes, please go ahead. Maybe the banks can answer. What I can say is We are actively joining this and involving this issue, and we talk to the BDDK. It is the Banking Development Issues, the institute, and it is not a specific issue that we are discussing, that the renewable energy requirements, but it is important to create a taxonomy, and there is an orchestrated, a coordinated activity to create the synergy. Yes, I agree with my colleague, because there is a coordination and there is a synergy among all the relevant institutes not to approve this 20%, which has been stated here. And it will make an impact. There are some individual initiatives. And such criteria make an impact on the construction license. And we had seen these type of issues. But it seems that we will see similar initiatives in the financing part. It has been already answered, but let me repeat the question. These commissioning issues, is there any collaboration and cooperation between the banks, the financing institutes, and other relevant institutes? Let me respond to this question from the TurkeySep financed projects. There's this verification period. So either the energy generated or the energy savings of these projects should be verified. And we need to get verification. There is a process whether these values are the real and exact values. That's the questions, and then it is the last round for your final remarks. If there is no final remark, that's it. I would like to thank you for inviting us. That's all from my side. Thanks a lot. Vedat Bey. I also would like to thank you for providing this opportunity to us, and I wish you success. I also would like to thank in my personal capacity and on behalf of my organization, and all these issues that we are discussing here needs to be taken further and needs to go forward. And I hope that there will be a better synergy in the future to combat against the climate change, and we will play our role in this respect. Thanks a lot. And I would like to thank you all on behalf of the Zero Build Turkey 2021 for your support and for your participation. And I would like to thank the forum organizing team, and thank you. That's the end.